Aloha mai kako. I wanted to continue on our PICO-based education by doing a fun activity that's going to help you to understand your personality a little bit better. So we're going to do a little education, PICO-based education, which connects to yourself. So what I want you to do is just take a few seconds to take a look at these shapes and choose the shape that most appeals to you. And just write it down. Just put a note. And then take a few seconds to tell or write down why that shape appeals to you. So whether it's the circle, the triangle, the square, or the squiggle. You can draw the shape or write it down, whichever is easiest for you. Just jot down a few things. This is going to help you during your reflection paper. Okay, so today is about self-reflection, how your personality affects your interaction with other personalities, and why things that you do may be perceived in a positive manner to some and negative to others. Our mission today, to get a better understanding about yourself and how these shapes affect your thought and interaction process. Let's take a look at the shapes. So if you chose the triangle, take a few seconds to just think, what about the triangle really appeals to you? So the triangle, these people are the top down. You're a born leader, you're competitive, confident, and decisive. Most corporations, these are the leaders, the CFOs, the managers, the CEOs. They're the ones that if you need a decision to be made, they're going to make it. They're not emotional. They don't take that into consideration. So if you're thinking about a decision and you have 2 options or 3 options, you wouldn't want to go to a triangle, because if you say, I'm thinking about doing this and I'm thinking about doing that, they're going to give you an answer. They're going to give you a decision that you may or may not like. So these are the unemotional people. So when I think about this, the first thing I want to say is those people that are boxes, instead of asking them what they like about the shape, when they look at this shape, they don't really care for it, because one of the things is it's not a perfect square. So they'll be able to identify that the top left is a little bit over, it's not a straight line, it's not a perfect square. So when we talk about them, they prefer this shape. They'll say they're either a square or they're a box because all the sides are even. These are also unemotional people. They're organized, they're logical, they're hardworking people who like structures and rules. Most of them are going to make laws, they make the rules, they make the regulations, and they're accountants. And what it is about them, they like everything to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Or actually, they like it 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D. And if you could even break it down even further to 1A1, 1A2, they like the details. So when you are working with them, please come with a plan. Don't be wishy-washy, because they really don't like that. They like it all written down. Okay? The next shape that we're going to talk about is the circle. If you're a circle, think about it. What about the circle that really I like? So when you're talking to a circle, they actually lead with emotions. They listen and communicate very well and are perceptive about your feelings. They're the ones that can tell how a person's day is going to go on. So circles are, let's all get along. There's no beginning and no end. So they're mostly the worker bees. They're going to work by consensus to move a project along. So when you're working with a circle, consider their feelings first. Okay. The last shape is really not a shape. It's what I call a squiggle. There's no form, there's no beginning, there's no end. So the thing about the squiggles are they're creative people who's always thinking of new ways to do something. Their thought process is there's got to be a better, faster way of doing things, and I want to have fun along the way. So they also run by emotions, but they're always looking at situations. The way you want to look at a squiggle is they're like sand. They're going to take into consideration everybody else around them, and they're actually going to rely on their secondary shape, and they're going to look at what needs to be done, and they're going to fill it in. So they're like a utility person, but the only thing about squiggles is that nobody trusts them, because today they were one way and the next day they may be another way. So people who are circles, squares, and triangles think that they don't know what's going on. They look wishy-washy, but they're really not. Okay? So what I want you to do is to take a few minutes to think about what I said and write down your thoughts about the part when Mrs. Terrell said this about the shape that you selected really spoke to me. And then after you watch this video, then I want you to also take a few moments to write down your thoughts so that you can share it along with in your reflection paper. So what I want you to do now is think about your secondary shape. So the secondary shape is you could have looked at the other shapes and said, I'm a circle, but also this other shape I like. And then after you listen to my explanation, you were thinking, that also applies to me. So it's possible. Your secondary shape is also important as it affects your thoughts and your interaction process. Throughout your life, you're able to be any of the other shapes. So just take a few minutes after this, go ahead and write it down, your thoughts, and then share it at the end on the Flipgrid. This is really going to help you as you begin to explore. Okay, mahalo, and I'll be presenting the next topic